I'm Elliott McFadden, and I'm here today to call out the DC establishment elite who are trying to dictate to us who our nominee will be in this race. I think it ought to be up to the voters of Texas 21 to make that decision. Washington Democrats are trying to pick our candidate for us, and the candidate they're pushing is a former Republican, a business and corporate-friendly executive who sits on the board of the most powerful conservative business organization in the state. What a choice. The Democratic Party must stand for something. We are fighting for America's future and the soul of the Democratic Party. What I'm about to say isn't easy, and it may not get me elected, but it has to be said before it's too late. We have a chance to win in Texas 21 and usher in the change we so desperately need. But what good does it do for us to nominate a candidate who won't fight for real reform? It's common knowledge that Joseph Kopser is the candidate of the DC elite and insiders. They've turned on the money faucet for tens of thousands of dollars from DNC and DCCC donors, with more to come. And they promote him in Washington at every turn. Yet Kopser's politics can only be described as Republican light. That's why not a single Democratic organization in Texas 21 has endorsed him. The DC elites are backing Kopser for two reasons. First, they don't want a candidate that might shake up the comfortable system in Washington. And secondly, they believe Republican-like candidates are the safe choice for winning over votes. Yet, every election in recent years, we have seen voters want candidates who are authentic and will fight for real reform. But let's be honest. The track record for Washington establishment Democrats is disastrous. We've lost dozens of legislatures, governorships, and congressional seats because of bad choices and weak candidates emanating from the center of money and influence in Washington. The party is weaker than it's been in decades, and America is saddled with Donald Trump. Sadly, the same Washington insiders who made all those mistakes are still trying to push their timid, inadequate candidates on local Democrats. The choice is simple: either status quo from the top down or reform from the grassroots up. Texas Democrats want change, but the establishment keeps dishing out more of the same. High-paid consultants put politically correct buzzwords into the mouth of Joseph Kopser, but local Democrats haven't been fooled. The evidence is clear. Joseph Kopser may be saying sweet words, but we can't trust him. Here's how the San Antonio Express described Joseph Kopser: a former Republican and business-friendly centrist. He's recently called Ronald Reagan a hero and supports fracking. While this may make him an odd choice for the Democratic nomination, it gets worse. You judge a man by the company he keeps, and Joseph Kopser sits on the board of the Texas Association of Business, an organization that calls itself the most effective conservative business organization in the state. Just last week, Joseph said he was proud to serve on the board of the TAB. Well, the TAB's record is nothing to be proud of. They're against raising the minimum wage. They're for charter schools and taking public education dollars and investing them in private schools. They've been against paid family leave, and their PAC has endorsed Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, and Ted Cruz. And just in the last legislative session, they led the effort to oppose a law that would require insurance companies to provide women with 3D mammograms, one of the most effective preventative measures for breast cancer. So, with an organization that puts profits over women's health, you got to ask yourself, why are you proud to lead it? Now, Kopser will say the TAB was against the reactionary bathroom bill in the last session. They were, but it wasn't for the same reasons you and I were against it. The TAB said, quote, "It's bad for business." It wasn't about human dignity. It was about the bottom line. But Kopser's support for corporate control doesn't stop at the TAB. When Uber and Lyft spent $10 million trying to overturn an Austin law that would require fingerprint background checks for rideshare drivers, Kopser jumped in and supported these huge corporations' efforts to override our local public safety rules. Kopser's campaign justifies this leadership in his conservative organization by saying, if you aren't at the table, you're on the menu. Well, I'm sorry, but people are not meals to be gobbled up by corporate interests. Democrats don't do ourselves any favors by not representing our values and by legitimizing an organization that actively hurts women's health, our public schools, and working families. If we can't trust Joseph to stand up for us now, how can we trust he'll stand up for us in Washington? I've been a Democrat all my life. From starting the first Young Democrats at Highland Park High School to serving as the executive director of the Travis County Democratic Party, I've helped elect dozens of Democrats over the last 2 decades. I'm a Democrat because our party is a champion for those who don't have a voice, who don't have wealth, who don't have power. We say America belongs to everyone, regardless of your race, gender, or sexual orientation. We believe health care is a right, not a privilege, and that we are stewards of our earth for our generation and those to come. We stand with workers who are just trying to get a decent wage and for immigrants who are looking for the American dream. I cherish these values, and I believe our candidates should embody these principles. Now, while I see Joseph Kopser's record as out of step with the Democratic Party, it should be up to the voters of Texas 21. But we have Washington interests trying to put their finger on the scale. DC power players are promoting Kopser's candidacy because they think they know what's best for us. The American people are tired of a political system that co-opts our democratic processes to benefit the powerful and the influence and insiders in Washington. I'm here today to say we will not let that same DC machine that is failing America go unanswered. I'm going to fight for the families that are struggling by making it our first priority to pass a $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all, and free college tuition at public schools. I'm going to stand up to the corruption by getting corporate money out of politics and instituting a 12-year term limit and a lifetime lobbying ban on members of Congress. I'm proud of the broad community support we've already received in this campaign, having been endorsed by over 200 community leaders in the district. I will not be Washington's guy. I'll be your guy and represent the people of Texas 21. So if you want a real Democrat who will fight for real change, I'm Elliott McFadden, and I'm your man. Thank you.